All right, what's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. Book is entitled "Lessons from a Non-Custodial Father" at Amazon Kindle and Create Space. Link will be in the description box below as usual. Go get it. Video is entitled "A Good Black Man Doesn't Have to Be Qualified." You know, what winds up happening is when brothers, even when I do videos and I put the word "good black man" in it, I get questions. And when you hear brothers talking about being good black men, people want a lot of definitions. And what winds up happening is, you know, even when you're good, you have to be qualified by just people in general for no apparent reason. It makes no sense to me, but this was going on, right? So, you know, it's weird because everything you do is in question. Your intelligence. If I say a brother's a good brother because he's smart, you know, I fully expect for somebody to try to figure out, you know, try to give him a litmus test of intelligence. Like, what is your IQ? You know, what kind of grades did you get? You know, what is your educational background? What is your did you have college and higher learning? You know, do you have a master's, a PhD? You know, those type of things, right? What was your grade point average when you were getting these things? You know, what subject matter? What college? Now, for everybody else, we don't even do all that. You know, we don't do that. So being a good black man is challenged. You know, brother's competency and skill set challenged. Winds up happening where you put yourself in a situation where you hear brothers talking about this all the time. Where, you know, well, in my personal life, I hear brothers talking about this. They're on a job, and people are trying to question them about their competence on their own job, and it's funny because a lot of times the people that are questioning their competence are incompetent themselves. But, you know, them being good has to be qualified, right? You know, the how did you get here? Or is it actually your skill, your intelligence? Are you actually qualified? Is this affirmative action? Got to be qualified, right? Which is stupid, but it's the reality. The other thing, you know, in not necessarily integrity, but your kindness is questioned. You know, people have the presumption of innocence while we have the presumption of guilt. People have the presumption of good when we have the presumption of evil. Like, you know, we're America's boogeyman, right? So, what winds up going on is this. You know, when somebody says that's a good black man or whatever, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get that pushback, you know, because we for some odd reason have these nefarious intentions. And it's funny because, you know, you hear all the time people say stuff like, you don't know what's in a person's heart. But when I pose to you what a good black man is, you automatically know what's in his heart, and if and you're suspicious of his goodness, you know, which is just weird. You know, subconsciously, you know, you program, but it's still weird. Compassion. You know, when a brother has compassion for other people, people are like thrown off. Like, the group that gets demonized the most is it throws you off when they have compassion for other people, which we have a lot of compassion. There's a lot of good brothers out here, a lot of good black men, but you don't want to get those guys any. You don't want to acknowledge them guys, right? So, but it doesn't have to be qualified. I'm saying this to the brothers, like, this is what people do to you, but you don't have to qualify yourself to anybody. I mean, when things go down in life, what winds up happening is people call on you. When you can't call on anybody. Can we call on anybody? No. Not absolutely not. So you put yourself in that mode where you got to start thinking about it. Why do I have to qualify myself as good? And sometimes you have to question who's asking the questions, because you have a lot of questionable people with a lot of questionable actions wanting you to qualify yourself for being good. It's like, really? Like, come on now. Same thing parenting wise, right? Good black man, you can't be a good father. You can't be a good first let's start. You can't be a good husband. It's, you gotta be, they want you to say you're doing something. Your wife is unhappy. You're ruling with an iron fist, and she doesn't love you, and she submits to you out of pure fear. You don't have to qualify being good. Your wife's happy. That's all that matters. Same thing with the guys. When we're in relationships and we have, quote unquote women or girlfriends, or woman or a girlfriend. Is he really good? Really? Yeah, okay. Play that game if you want to. There's always something that he could be doing, to the point where even faithful men get hit with it. He probably cheating when he's just a faithful man, because people want to be qualified. You got to go through his phone, invade his privacy, pop up on his job type of stuff, and it's like, talk to him all day while he's at work, just to make sure he's actually working. And it's crazy, but it's the reality, but you ain't got to qualify yourself. The other thing that's just weird, it's just weird along the way, was parenting. You presume to be a bad parent as a father. Fathers are presumed to be bad parents in general, but people act as though you can't be a good black man as a father. Like, oh my God, it's not an anomaly. Oh, he's a good, really. So this is why I'm telling you, don't qualify yourself, because to be perfectly honest, at the end of the day, all these, it won't matter anyways. Because what people do is, even if you qualify yourself, they're going to keep moving the goalposts until they find something that they could say disqualifies you, which is why you're having these conversations in the first place, which is stupid, but whatever. Makes no sense to me, but a lot of things don't make sense to me. So that's the way it goes. Oh yeah. Somebody says they're it's not like athletics, like where, as Shannon Sharp would say, you gotta constantly update your resume. Like, other people can hit their goals and benchmarks, and that's what they are. We're a different group, where when we hit our goals and benchmarks, they don't count, right? So your good isn't really good. Everything has to have an asterisk next to it, just in case, because people are always in their feelings. But what you do is what you do. What you accomplish is what you accomplish. Nobody can take that away from you. And a lot of times, when one of the biggest reasons I say don't qualify yourself is most people are unqualified to understand your experience anyways. You know, people are talking from a pedestal or a place of comfort, a place where they were able to get over, you know, so their perspective, it doesn't even match yours. And they don't have to be empathetic, but they should be able to understand the difference, and they purposely don't. It's selective memory with that stuff. So that's why I say leave it alone. Like, you don't have to qualify yourself, especially to a group of unqualified people who just ultimately just don't want to give you credit. Just keep doing you. We out.